isn't this exciting? This is disconcerting, seeing myself happening in delay to time. Well, I just thought I'd do it on here, on as I've been running all the events via the YouTube, my YouTube channel, and to share a little bit as I do each new moon and full moon. One, our intentions this month are really, really important, and I was thinking, hey ho, pressure. Are you like me thinking, God, does that mean I have to be like really, really important? They've got to be intentions and for the world. I want to make this place a better place. I want to help more people. Those are all on my list, and going really deep. But there might just be some basic things that you want in your life. Put them down, but keep your focus positive. I really feel like at the moment we are in a time where it's so easy, where there's loads of stuff going on. It feels like the twilight zone out there at times, and whatever your truth is and your perspective is, and whatever's happening in your now moment with yourself, and believe me, I have my moments. This morning was one of those days where things had just kind of got a bit, I'm feeling the effects of the new moon around this time, and Mercury is retrograde at the moment, so communication, like Facebook, you used to be able to put events up completely and have multiples. It's like got loads up, it's times ago, there's all these little things, and I kind of expected that, but I still ran the event yesterday, the moon circle. So if you want to book a ticket, then please feel free to do so. They're up on Eventbrite if you hop on over to my Facebook page, but that's screening until Monday I think. But if you're doing your little thing at home, I suggest you grab a pen and paper and think about what it is you want to focus on this month, because it is a super new moon, and that means that it's extra powerful. As I said, we've got Mercury in retrograde, which is kind of making us go over stuff, the details we've missed. I myself have certainly missed certain things. I realised I'd put 2 different events up on one thing, and like all those little details coming up, so double checking stuff, and how we speak to people. It might be that you feel like you want to express yourself. I felt the reverse, because I naturally express. I express with my art. I love to talk. I'm passionate about what I talk about. I love speaking in general, maybe too much. I can't shut myself up. I've been trying to use less words and trying to get to the point a lot quicker. Going over things and the details for things has also made me reflect on where I've been, which I do each month anyway, of what my goals were last month for the intentions for that cycle, and what has come to fruition, what has manifest, and why. And I know in my own life, I'm noticing that the one thing that's the most important is something I'm putting off. So asking yourself if there's something like that for you that's coming up. This is what I've been doing in my journal, and obviously I'm following the Le Soleil. Every night I'm reflecting and asking those inward questions. So this process is something that I'm doing daily rather than just monthly now, and it really finding it helpful to really dig deep, and this is a great time to do that, especially in the Libra, balancing ourselves, our thoughts, our beliefs, our perceptions, and with what's happening out there, that whole, my perception of that and other people's. So many people, I see them and bless them, they're really their experience, and that's their true experience of what's happening for them, and they're in this perception, and I don't want to come across as not caring about what's going on in the world. I really do care, but I understand that for my own wellness and my own well-being and holistically living in a balanced life, I have to take what's important to me, look at certain truths, and this came up right on the school run this morning, so I feel like it needs to mention it, that something was happening for someone, and it was real fears. They're like, but yeah, this is happening right now, this is the truth, in that because it is their truth. This is happening and you've got to be really careful and blah blah, and it was nothing to do with COVID. And my gut's telling me, well, that's the truth, because that's where your focus is going, and our focus and our energy is so important. It's really important to keep that focus on what you want in your life to manifest it. So when you're listing those things, how are you feeling about that subject? So on your list, put down the things you want. And I've just done in the meditation, I was like, maybe a couple of things for your relationships. Keep it balanced, not just one thing. Something that you'd like for your work or your career, your learning, your growth, your family. Think about those aspects, and then it'll be more balanced, because I certainly feel like I've time to pay the piper to reset the balances of areas of my life that have been neglected. So have you been neglecting some part of you, or an area of your life? Maybe it's family, maybe it's work, maybe it's your learning and your self-growth, maybe it's time for you, maybe it's your diet. Whatever it is, take some time to do that. I'm going to do a little mini meditation for us as well. I just wanted to get my thoughts across, hopefully in a coherent fashion, considering Mercury. I find it hard to get my words out, or I worry about them being misunderstood. So if anything I say is resonating, wonderful. If it doesn't resonate with you, then just take what does on board, and maybe view this again in 14 days when you might find what I'm saying more relevant. Just have a look at what your intentions were and whether how they come to fruition, and if there's stuff that happened in your life that you were like, I really didn't want that to be happening, how could I have created that? That's what, when people start to wake up and you say to them about the law of attraction, or when you're new to this, like, well, I would not choose to have that in my life. Neither would I. Certain things I certainly wouldn't be choosing to have what's happening in our global right now, but as a result of what's happening, one of the things is to look at the benefits in each of these experiences that happen in our life, in our soul contract, I like to think of it as, and people are becoming more understanding of and compassionate. They see that others are in different situations and lots going on, and we're able to be more compassionate to one another, and that has to be a good thing. That we are taking more pleasure and more acceptance and gratitude for the smaller details in our life, like our food and our diet. We're at home more, spending time with family, just having a phone call and physically being in a room with someone that we may have taken for granted, to be more in awareness. This month's challenge on my page was to connect, and I've said to connect to people, maybe old friends, because this is the other thing. There are lots of people out there. Not everyone is in lockdown. This is why I feel like it's a twilight zone. You have one people with the school run where it feels like a football field, and then you've got people that are terrified and having to isolate because of family members or health issues, and not able to actually go out, or they're still in lockdown. Parts of the country again are in lockdown, and parts of the world are still in lockdown, and then others are still going out and they're relatively not touched in that way, unless then the moaning may be about wearing a mask to go into a shop. I know also there's others that are saying it's like the liberties and the civil liberties coming up, that whole power thing of having to take vaccines and stuff is happening in America. You've got the political things going on. So whatever surprises come up this month, and I feel like there's going to be some biggies, look at it from the point of view that whatever shows up for you, we can now take that and reframe how we're going to deal with things. There's this saying that in business with entrepreneurial journeys, and it's come up in time and time again, that failure isn't failure. Failure is just the learning, the understanding of what's working and what's not. contrast is the same. Abraham Hicks always says, you know what you do want, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. And kind of think of it like market research for life, that's working, this is working, that's not working. So, okay, that doesn't work for me. That exercise regime is not one that I feel comfortable with, or that diet isn't one that I feel good on. Let's try this. Don't feel like you're failing, and celebrating the wins. That mindset shift is so important. And where we got this cosmic, almost the sun flaring and Mars effect going on, there's this potential for being fired up and passion. That's where what I speak about comes out. But it might be that's tempers flaring, and your partner might not be the same. Mine is very different to me. We're like chalk and cheese. The spiritual, that's whole woo woo, don't agree with that. But I love him, and I love who he is for what he is. He doesn't have to agree with me. I don't think anyone has to agree with me. When you are balanced in yourself, and this month is really good, as I said, I keep saying, to be doing this, to learn what your own thoughts or beliefs or look within. The more you do that, the more you have an understanding of how you believe. And sometimes you don't even have that awareness. It came up recently with I was working with money, which this whole money concept. And I've, like lots of people, have always had this, that whole money doesn't grow on trees, money is the root of all evil, were sayings that I grew up with, and association with the fat cats and money, and money not being a good thing. So not wanting subconsciously to be a bad person. If I'm spiritual, you don't charge for things. So I literally have spent 3 years doing everything that most people charge for free, and got myself into a situation that's not good, and I had to look within and reflect. I'm about us creating vision boards and having this future, being my most authentic and living my most authentic life. I've got to walk the talk, hey? So that means readdressing my thoughts, my beliefs, and finding out, delving deep into my shadow self and where they come from. So I've taken this opportunity, this new moon, to really look at those beliefs and thought patterns, and assess. And as someone that was abused when I was younger, I really didn't understand that this acceptance, because I love to give, but to receive was uncomfortable, and that went with the money. So, and understanding, actually, it's about holding my self-value. I'm a big Louise L. Hay fan, and I'm always rabbiting onto you guys about self-love and mirror work. So I've done this since I was 17, and I've got past a lot of those, but the little niggly patterns that are kind of historically, and I've done this month, I was working with Emma Wakefield's challenge, Money Magic, and it was magic for me in the fact that she said, it was only 50 years ago that women had to have a man with them to sign their money out of their bank account. And I was like, really? So my partner was like, oh, that can't be right. It must have been, we were looking it up, it was in the 70s, and I was born in the 70s. So we've come a long way, but there are still subconscious beliefs within our society that we're kind of, our mums, our grandparents would have dealt with, and associations that may subconsciously be there, not even aware of. And that was one that I said about women that having money, and the type being hard and accepting. You may not have that, but that's something I've learned with, and I've certainly brought up this month and been dealing with. And I do value myself, don't get me wrong. I'm a really positive person. I'm sure you know if you're following me, but I think it's good for me to share, because when you reflect, it's like, I don't want to go there because I don't want to be negative. I don't want to recreate that. But in shining a light, it's like when you do EFT, you talk about what is, you realization of where you are, and acceptance of where you are, and see that as, okay, then I've got this desire. This is where I am. and that's okay. It's being, this is who I am, and that's okay. And then looking at the 10 things that you want to write down. And I do my burn list, and I recommend you do one, and you let it go with that intention to move. And if there is an area in your life that you feel like you need to rebalance more, this is a time to do that, to reflect. My love and my blessings. And if you feel resonating and called to do this, right now I'd ask you to touch your hand over your heart and connect to yourself, which is what my desire to teach people to do more of in their own lives, as I try to do in mine. So breathing in, connecting with your breath and the flow as it breathing in and breathing out. Feel that sense of now. Just sitting with yourself and just observing what you're feeling, and without judgment. Knowing that in this moment you are safe and all is well. I've got your back, just as the universe has got your back. We are all one energy. Even the bad things that we see as being bad, everything is just energy. Some light, distortion of the light. See that pouring in the balance. Being spiritual isn't about being sort of all light and fairy and up here and really high vibe, though even I myself tried to aim for that. But it's about also understanding that in doing so, you still have to have the feet grounded in the physical, accepting yourself on the times that you feel that raw emotions come up, and knowing, well, in this moment I'm launching a desire, and I accept the universe knows that, and it's going to give to me the opposite of how I'm feeling, because this desire in this moment's so strong. Or I'm going to focus on this feeling good, as it's Feel Good Friday. I'm going to be grateful for even those horrible contrasting times in my life, because they light up the other areas of where I want to be, who I want to be. But being grateful for those beautiful moments that we take the time to just be, to breathing and just be for me for 2 minutes. So if there's anything I need to share with you right now, just because there is the potentiality for certain energies right now cosmically, you can, in knowing this, utilize it to your advantage. Your focus can be enhanced. It's like energetically you're being given a helping hand. Take that, don't fight it. Be grateful. Grateful for where you are now, and excited for where you're going, where we are going as a race. See the messy kitchen image come through. It's that messy kitchen to think, right, okay, it's time to clean house, metaphorically and physically for me personally, but to get sometimes the scrubbing of the pan. Yeah, I remember the Louisa Hay says to say that the Thanksgiving turkey dish, you've got to scrub sometimes. You've got to scrub deep. It's just a process. It's our own process. It's a tool for being in awareness, as Matisse would say in my learnings. You all know in your heart of hearts that you are magnificent divine beings. Let any emotions flow. We're all helping, whether we're aware in awareness of it or not, we are helping to collectively clear a backlog for the last few thousand years of not connecting, of not being present in ourselves. And we are collectively working together. And sometimes that means we may feel a ball of emotion that we don't know where it comes from. That energetic cloud of fear that is globally there. We can choose love. We can wrap that fear. As Matisse says, it's a survival. Our fears are there to protect us. You don't want to battle the fear. You want to be grateful for your fears. They're there because it's chemically, your body is biologically telling you, it wants to keep you safe. Say thank you, but I am safe. When you're ready. Sorry. That's what my soul wanted to share. Love and blessings for wherever you are in your now moment. Take time for you. As always, it's common sense, not just spiritual intuition. That's common sense. You need time to reset. You need the time. We all need it. Don't worry about the when things are going to be back to the way they were. Reframe it and think, actually, what have we gained? What have you gained? Ask yourself. I'd really like to know. Let me know in the comments. What has been your biggest takeaway from this year so far? What have you learned as a soul, as a being? And how are you doing stuff differently? It might be that you're more looking at the ethics and sustainability of the stuff you're buying because of an awareness of how those amazing images of Venice and how the water was clearing and when we locked down, and how we are and mass producing things and all of that. It may just be your own personal relationships, but whatever it is, you've got this. Just because astrologically there's all these like Mercury going on and everything else, it doesn't mean that we can't have a brilliant, authentic life. It just means we need to take stock, take some time, pay some respect to this energy in the fact that you are in awareness of your thoughts and your feelings. Sit in observation and be mindful of the story that you are thinking and feeling, and how you want to be. My love, my blessings. Have a fabulous new moon. Maybe move with it a little bit, like I did in our session yesterday. Get yourself out in the outdoors. If it's not raining, even in the rain, it's quite nice to walk in the rain. Have some salt baths going on. But think about those intentions for this month, and do your burn list. And if you're not sure what that is, then check out one of my videos for my new moon ceremonies and join one of my new moon ceremonies. I've got one that's viewing, the most recent one for this month, for today, is up on Eventbrite. So that's over on my Facebook page, or just Love Authentic Me on Eventbrite. If you search that, I'll come up. I'll see you guys on Monday for Meditation Monday. And have a wonderful weekend, or wherever you are in your now moment, now or in a year from now.